Oh, can we just stop? Can we just stop? I was just here and I was just looking at this bridge going across and just remembering some amazing thing. Like, we basically hung this banner down, this piece of fabric that went all the way across and right to the floor, and it looked like it had this brick wall. It was just this quite amazing sort of fake effect, really. And it looked like we'd bottlenecked the whole of this place. And there was this party that sort of tumbled out of the bar and into the street, and people didn't really know that you couldn't go any further. And yeah, it was brilliant. It's just so funny watching it here now. It's just so calm, and yeah, it's a different thing entirely, actually. I wonder whether we should try and go in. Oh look, now it's become the brick house. How funny. I wonder. Well, we used to put on, you know, I was telling you about these parties. We used to put these parties on, and they just got bigger and bigger, and you know, more and more outlandish, and the sort of art pranks and escapades that we were doing were just, you know, getting far bigger than any of our venues, really. And then we just took over this place for a series of summer events, although obviously it wasn't the brick house back then, it was just this old tumble down warehouse. I wonder if we could try and go in. It might be nice to see what it's turned into now, maybe.
Yes.
I mean, who knows? No. Oh. Hi there. Hello. Hi, sorry. I was just wondering what this has become. Many years ago, I used to put on parties here. Before it had turned into any kind of venue. I was just wondering if we could have a look round.
Unfortunately, we're having this show at the moment.
Oh.
It's on. It's basically like cabaret,
Okay.
burlesque type of day and night.
Yeah.
We are a supper club as well as an event space.
Wow.
So we do lots of private hires, lots of private parties, corporate parties, Christmas parties at the moment. Every single day we've got one.
Okay, because it's coming up to Christmas.
Yeah,
Oh,
we become a
brilliant.
very fancy, popular
well, back in
place
the day
to be,
it was
really.
just literally just bricks and mortar and like brushing things up before we went on, but I can see that's all changed. Okay, well, thanks.
We'd love to have you around one day.
Yeah, maybe-
Unfortunately, now it's all
Yeah.
showed up and everybody's sitting down.
Yeah,
very
yeah.
professional, so I don't
We're
think
just walking along. I
it'd
thought
be
I'd just try.
happening.
But anyway, thanks very much.
No problem.
Okay.
Good luck with your errand.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye. Yeah, I mean, hasn't that got really fancy now?
Yes. So you used to spend a lot of time in Brick Lane?
I used to. Back in the late 90s, it was I suppose here in Shoreditch was where, you know, we would hang out. It was totally different back then. I mean, it's really been sort of shishied up, and it's obviously you've still got like the trendies here, but actually it's like it was quite a sort of rough and ready place, and it felt like there was lots of space available to really play with, and this idea that you know, the city was our playground was something that we were all really kind of excited by and into, and it felt really kind of naughty and fun. And you know, we were quite lucky. We had this thing that seemed to attract people. We put on parties. We were also making clothes and accessories that we'd sell, that would then fund the parties. And then we'd also, while you were coming to the parties, people knew that some kind of jape sort of fun experience would happen, like, you know, I was showing you with the curtain that came down. It was something would always pop up, something quite theatrical, something quite unexpected. And yeah, we were here. I mean, you know, there was always the furniture shops. That was always here. I mean, this is all new. There's the new East London line, which is, funnily enough, connected sort of Goldsmiths, where I was in South East London, to Hackney, East London, where I grew up. So it's weird. There's like all these connections now that are appearing. Back then, it felt like there were two totally different worlds, really. Yeah. And now, Brick Lane's in the middle of this East London train line with its fancy bridge. I mean, looking at this bridge, if I was doing now what I was doing then, I could be having quite a lot of fun covering that with some of my wallpapers that I was making.
I mean, this area has, of course, been famous really for all its parties and all the culture that's been going on. But I mean, why was it that your parties were so successful? I mean, we still hear about those now. I mean, even when I was working in South America, I was hearing about these parties. It's quite incredible. I mean, what can you attribute that to, Sophie?
I don't really know. I mean, oh God, I don't really know. I like to have a good time. Everyone who I was friends with back then liked to have a good time, and so I think we just kind of encouraged that as an atmosphere, really, like if anything goes, really. And we were all really creative people. We were all up for having fun, doing things differently. We really weren't listening to any of the rules, and it was just a space really that wasn't there. I mean, we grew up with sort of free parties when we were kids, and I think that carried on into this much more sort of mature sense of a party which was much bigger than that. Like I said, we offered something really unexpected at every turn. You never really knew what you were going to get, and I suppose there was just a buzz. There was a buzz. I mean, obviously it helped that, like, Kate turned up, and there was just like, I mean,
Kate's
Kate Moss was there, and with Jules Wenshaw. Yeah, it's just like there was a buzz. People were into it. I don't really know. It was fun. It was the biggest load of fun I think I've ever had, and that was good. And also it was this art crowd, but it didn't take itself too seriously.
But there were some serious artists there. I mean, do you think that, and when you had celebrities coming down, do you think that, I mean, it didn't spoil it seems, but how did that affect things?
Well, I mean, you just can't let people change things. I mean, we've always, our motto was like, play hard, work hard. And if you didn't have that ethic, then, that was really the ethic that we cared about. So sometimes our parties were going on for days and days, and if you couldn't keep up, then it was sort of, you went by the wayside, whether you were famous or not. We certainly didn't curry any favours just because you happened to have sold a couple of paintings. Or you'd been on a few, covers of ID. We just were about having a good time. And also art. Let's not forget art. We were interested in really expanding people's minds and getting people thinking about things in different ways and asking questions that other people were sort of afraid to ask. So, yeah.
What kind of questions, for example?
About life and love and living and breathing and being and taking and giving. Those kind of questions.
And love. I mean, that's a topic. That's something you've been lucky in. I mean, how did that resonate during these Brick Lane days?
Well, I mean, that was it was heady days for me back then. I mean, yeah, I was at the time I was trying to make money from obviously selling my pieces of art, which were doing okay actually. But then obviously I had rent to pay, so I was at Food for Thought, and obviously that's where I met my current husband.
Where in Food for Thought itself?
Yeah, Food for Thought. Yeah, he came down the stairs actually and asked for a scrunch. Oh, look at this place! It's all being done up. There used to be just this whole street used to be galleries, just every single one, and it's like, I think I had a different. There was what I can remember one Thursday, because obviously private views are on Thursday. One Thursday, it was like I had a friend showing in each gallery, and we had a bit of a competition of how many glasses could we nick and who'd have the most. And then we made this kind of weird sculpture thing out of all of them together, but everyone had different colours. I mean, my God, we were so plastered by the end of it, and I could just remember we were making members of the public walk on this weird sculpture that we would make. Wow, let's carry on. But look at it now. I mean, obviously you can see art still going on for Nathan. There's some kind of, I mean, this whole, yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't know. Maybe. So. Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's quite nice, really, isn't it? Quite nice. I mean, I do often sort of come across little remnants of my existence here.
You're following.
Yeah. Well, I mean, people. I don't know. People think that I have one, but I'm not really sure. My friend used to own this bar. We had some crazy times in there, really crazy times. I mean, he's obviously sold it on since then. The Red Church. Yeah, it was fun. We had good. It was good. I mean, yeah, all of this just is very, very different now. I mean, posh. We can kind of cut through. Oh, it's like hairdresser.
So your husband, his name,
Josh.
Josh, he came in and ordered a scrunch, and how did it? I mean, how did that turn into a proposal on the Great Wall?
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is, he's also an artist. He's very, very different to me. The work he makes is very different. He much more traditionalist, much more object-based, but his work, is very sort of minimal and uses sound. And so, but because of the sound, there's a sort of live element there, and he knows, that obviously I do performance, and he knows that one of my amazing kind of sort of gurus is Marina Abramovich, who I've been lucky enough to actually meet.
Yes, I read about that.
Well, when she was up in Manchester doing one of the 11 Rooms shows, and she just wrote to me and asked if I'd come up and see her. I mean, I was actually up there anyway because I was seeing Tino Segal, who also had a show up there. So I was there anyway, and I mean, I've never met her. I was so pleased, so super excited to be meeting her. And obviously I told you about the Great Wall because there's this beautiful thing where she used to have her partner at the time was a guy called Ule, who was also a live artist, and they had this piece where they started at two sides of the Great Wall of China and spent something like 5 months walking to meet each other, and the idea was they would meet each other and have this beautiful embrace, but actually on the walk of 5 months they realised that they no longer should be together, and when they actually met they split up. And it's a really sad yet seminal story, and Josh knew about this and knew about my interest in Marina, and just thought it would be quite amusing in a funny kind of way to inverse that, the idea of two people splitting up and actually two people getting together. And he asked me to marry him, and what's quite hilarious is if he hadn't have chosen the Great Wall of China, I probably would have said no, but it was such a beautiful artistic moment for both of us that I had to say yes. It was quite amazing.
And why do you think he would have said no otherwise? You're not really how did you feel about marriage before that?
I've never really been into it. I mean, it's not that I'm uninto it, particularly it's just never really been something that I thought I wanted. But you don't always know what you want until you've got it, and now I'm having an amazing time.
You are famously independent. I mean, really.
He's okay with that. I mean, he really, really is. He's got to be. He knew exactly what he was getting into. I mean, we'd been dating, going out, whatever, for 8 years and living together for 4 before we actually got married. So he knew exactly my sort of position in all of that, and he knew that I would demand actually a flat. I mean, what's interesting is I've always had my studio, and my studio has progressively got sort of fancier and fancier as time's gone on, obviously, and it's now really more like a sort of living and breathing office come apartment, really. It's the studio is got its own 2-bedroom flat attached to it. At the time it was just a little futon, but I spend a lot of time there, and he's at home obviously in Barnsbury, and I've got the flat in Hackney Wick, so it's like he's just had to be used to it, really. Although, would I have a flat? Wow, it's been years since I've been back here.
This is where it all started. This is where Vision Express got going, huh?
Yeah. This is where the infamous J shot happened. Right. So if you have a look, see up there. So there's a gallery up there called Shed and a Half, and we were putting on Vision parties up there, and there was like a hot tub out on the, can you see the flat roof there? And basically there were like these 3 different sheds, and like one was a bar, one was literally just a hot tub, and I don't know why the hell Jay got it. Basically Jay Joplin had heard about these parties, all of his assistants were always coming down, and God knows why he came and just got totally plastered. It's really unlike him. I mean, like, I still know him reasonably well, and he got absolutely plastered and ended up in this hot tub, like, with nothing on, but like, so we used to make these kind of glasses, and he just like had a pair of glasses like just on his willy, like, oh my God, it was just ridiculous. Obviously loads of people were taking photos because it was just like this art world thing. And then those, I mean, like Sam, his wife at the time, was so lovely, bless her, just like those, but then, you know, it was like suddenly my glasses that I'd been making, that I'd been selling, or my artwork, were just everywhere, like, you know, like ID was covering them, and Dazed had like pictures about them. It was just, that's when it went mad, and it's so funny to be back here. And I wonder if it's still here. Should I have a look? Oh yes, look. Vita Gottlieb, Studio 4. I know that she's no longer managing it. Oh, that's a shame. Years ago. No, I mean, I can remember it was like the step, like, oh, it's like, what, 4 floors up, and we had these really, so we had glasses that we'd sell, and then like pieces of mannequin that were all somehow like, they could all move like kinetically, and somehow like we were having to pull them up those stairs. It was just, oh my God, it was just ridiculous. Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, yeah, this place here was really what started it all off for us, really. For me. Without it, I'm not sure. If any of it would have happened, like if the Turner Prize would have happened, or White Cube would have happened, or or the Biennale, obviously. I mean, obviously the Biennale was quite amazing. Yeah, and all of this here was like hung out with all of this fabric. So when you sort of came, it was like this magical thing. Yeah, they were good. They were really, really good days, they were, and young. We were young, having a good time. Anyway, let's go.
Are you still in contact with Jay?
Yeah, like we're still good friends actually. I mean, he's been so fantastic to me and supported me the whole time. I mean, obviously he like didn't mind the indiscretion of the glasses. I mean, he did choose that for himself. We're definitely still in contact. He's a great guy and lovely to have around. Should we go over to White Cube?
Yes.
Then we'll get a coffee.
Yes, I actually, a friend of mine was speaking to Jay. I think it was probably 6 years ago now. But he mentioned you. He said you're probably one of the most exciting young artists in this hemisphere.
So kind. He's so kind, that guy. No, he really is. He's always supported me, and he's always had faith in me, and he's always really like looked out for me. I think he's slightly bigging me up myself. Like, I don't know.
Was it always just a friendship, or?
Yeah, like definitely. I mean, me and Sam Taylor Wood, his then wife, we were good friends as well. I mean, no, like of course there might have been like Christmas drunkenness, but no, yeah, just always really good friends. Yeah, really just a genuinely lovely guy. Now, here we are coming up to White Cube. I mean, what was really so lucky for me in that time was, so I'd come back from uni in '98, and 2020 was really like kicking off in '99, just as Jay was building this thing. So we got to have a real run around of this place. I mean, it was an old factory, and if you look at the top there, that's new. That none of that was there. It was just this building. And if we go and just have a look over here, maybe you'll get a better idea of it. And it opened in 2000, and it was his second premises, and it was quite controversial. Yeah, it was quite controversial, and Jay was just, after 2020 really kicked off, and the glasses, the famous glasses incident, he was really kind enough and took a real risk and gave me my first solo show. I was 24, 25, couldn't quite believe it. And it was a year after it had opened in 2001, and yeah, that's just really, like, for me, that's like a seminal part of my life. I wonder if they'll let us film in there. Should we go and... I mean, Jay won't be here. He's probably in Bermondsey. I think they'll...
Sorry? Oh, this is Sophie Nathan. Yeah, okay, thanks.
Thanks. I mean, here we are, like, this space was always, I mean, exactly as you can see, it was a white cube. I mean, it was quite controversial at the time because...
It's Sophie Nathan, you know Sophie?
No. Hello. Hi, sorry, I'm just reminiscing about my life and just looking at the gallery.
Beginning of this.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it was very controversial at the time, and yeah, sort of the idea of it being a white space and a white gallery. And Saatchi always said, for instance, that he thought it was more like going back to the 19th century Enlightenment. But for me, I loved this space, everything about it, the light, the volume was just fantastic. So yeah. It's great to be here, actually. It's really nice. Let's not get them working. I mean, should we go upstairs, or?
Yes.
Is there more to be had?
I mean, it's amazing to think that what this did for your career.
I know. I mean, it took off. I mean, without it, it would have been nothing. I know. I sort of count myself incredibly lucky that he gave me that big break, and it was a really sort of seminal moment in my life, and I feel incredibly lucky and blessed to be given
and
that.
so does the White Cube, I'm quite sure.
No, I mean, no, that's just silly, but it was great for me, and I'm forever thankful and forever really, really grateful to all that opportunity actually that it gave me. So yeah, lucky me, lucky them, lucky us all.
It's not just luck, Sophie.
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry, we can't allow filming in the gallery.
Oh,
You
it's
need
just
to make an
because it's
appointment.
Sophie Nathan.
Yeah, I checked, and yeah, it doesn't matter if you did used to work here. It's the
Oh, she
copyright
used
of
to
the
work.
artwork.
Okay, well no, I mean we've been filming that way, but
Yeah, it just in future you can't just come in with the camera to film in the
really?
gallery. No.
Okay, sorry, I
You
just
need
thought
to-
that would be
it's
okay.
copyright of the artwork and the artist.
Sure.
It's all about her, this
Yeah, it's
documentary.
all about me.
This is where she made herself. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Let's go. Let's have a coffee.